Hey folks, welcome back to another review with yours truly, Sam Healey. Today we're taking a look at this little guy right here, Shooterz. It is a hockey-themed card game for 2 players from Caper Games. I love hockey. I'm a fan of hockey. I love it a lot. And so whenever a hockey-themed game comes along, I'm intrigued at the very least. And I'd like to see how it goes. So let's take a look at how it plays. Let's get down to the table. So in a game of Shooterz, the basic layout here is that each player takes 3 shot cards and 3 goalie cards. Then they're also dealt a hand of 5 cards from the deck, and then the rest of the deck is here in the middle of the table so that it can be easily reached by both players. Now the thing is that these cards won't usually be displayed like this. I'm just showing them to you right now because these are going to be used when you're taking shots during the game. Now that is the goal of the game, is to score goals. Go figure, you're playing hockey. If you score a goal, you get to take one of these things. Whoever has the most of these after 3 periods wins. A period lasts as long as this deck is here. So once the deck runs out, that's the end of the first period. You take all the cards, shuffle them back together, and then you go through the deck 3 times. That's once for each period, and whoever has the most goals at the end of the game wins. Now the cards that make up your hand, there's a bunch of different kinds of cards in the deck. So basically there are cards like this one right here, which tells you that this is a red jersey. So this is going to be a card that's going to be usable by the red team, and it tells you that he's a defender. Then you also have cards like, for example, this one will be used for the blue team. This guy is a center, and this guy is a winger. Okay, so there's a bunch of different kinds of jersey cards in there which make up your players of your team. Then there are also referee cards. For example, this is a 2-minute penalty. This is a minor penalty. Then you have a 5-minute major. Then you have a game misconduct. So basically what these do is this takes a card out of your opponent's hand for 2 turns so that they're playing a man down during those 2 turns. This one takes one of your opponent's cards out of his hand for 5 turns, a 5-minute major. This one takes one of his players out for the entire game. They're set out and set aside. And then this one is just a whistle that you can discard it on the end of your turn to basically say that your opponent can't go and you get to take another turn. So on your turn, you're basically going to have a hand of cards. And those cards, for example, I'm the blue team, so I'm going to be interested in these cards right here. In order to take a shot, that's the whole point. You're trying to score goals. In order to take a shot, you have to have at least 3 of your color jerseys in your hand, and they have to have 1 center, doing so good, a winger, and you have to have another defender. So I have a winger, I have 2 wingers and 1 center. I would not be able to take a shot right now normally. But on your turn, it's really simple. First thing you do is you draw a card. All right? And then you can try to take a shot, and then at the end of your turn, you have to discard a card. All right? So at this point, there are 2 ways that you can take shots. The first one that I already mentioned, having 1 card from each of the different positions, a center, a winger, and a defender. Or you can play 4 cards of your kind, and they don't have to be 1 from each of the same, 1 from each of the different positions. They can just be 4 of any position that's there. And you can play that down and try to take a shot. Now, there's 2 ways that a shot can be blocked. The first one is if your opponent has a number of red cards, since my opponent is red, that equals a total number that's higher than the numbers on my jerseys. So my jerseys is 34, 40, 50. So if they have a number of jerseys, red jerseys in their hand that equals more than 50 or more, then they could lay down those jerseys and block my shot without any trying at all. All right, but let's say that they can't do that. So what would happen here is I would take my shot cards. So I'm either going to go 5-hole, high blocker side, or high glove side, top shelf on either side, and then my opponent is going to take his goalies. He has a 5-hole, high blocker, high glove, high blocker, and they're going to secretly choose which shot they're going to take. So let's say that I'll just try to do this randomly to determine what happens here. So that guy did that, and this guy is going to throw this. So if my shot, try to show it to the camera here, if my shot is going to where the target says, then I've scored a goal. But here, since I went high glove side, he's got his glove waiting for the puck. He actually saves, and no goal is scored. But had he played this one, where the puck is going to where the target is, then I score a goal. I would take one of these lamps and put it in front of me, showing that I've scored a goal. All right? So, regardless of whether I score a goal or not, I discard all of the jerseys that I used, and I draw an equal number back up into my hand. So now I played 4 cards, so I draw 4 cards back, and then I have to discard a card to end my turn. So, I could discard this guy. So if I discard a referee card, that's going to take one of the red jerseys out of his hand, and he would be in the box for 2 minutes. Okay, so on my opponent's turn, at the end of his turn, he can take one off, and then at the end of his next turn, he can take the other one off, and then this guy comes back into his hand. And basically, you keep going through that system of drawing a card, discarding a card, or drawing a card, trying to score a goal, and discarding a card until this deck has gone through 3 times. And at the end of that, whoever has the most goals is the winner. So that is Shooterz. Not a whole lot to the game, and I don't know that that's necessarily a bad thing. However, I definitely left the experience that I had with this game wanting more, but not necessarily more of this game. Just because, again, I like bigger games. I don't know what it is. Smaller games usually don't impress me that much. Now, I will say that the back and forth, the fast nature of the game did mirror how fast hockey plays. Your turns go by very fast. Sometimes you're just drawing and discarding, drawing and discarding, drawing and discarding. You're waiting to get that combination of cards that will allow you to strike and possibly score a goal. So that's a cool thing about it. I did also like how the penalty cards were in there, the minor, the 2-minute minor, and the 5-minute major cards were in there, and then of course the game misconduct. But I thought that kind of could be a little bit of an imbalancing factor of the game, because if one person gets all those penalty cards, it's going to be really difficult for the other player to do any good at trying to get together that scoring lineup and try to take a shot on goal. Overall, I think it's an okay game. It's definitely not something I'm going to run out and want to play every single day, but if you got a couple people that are just sitting around with not really much to do, and you've got a few extra, maybe 30 minutes, then this is a pretty good game for that, especially if they're both hockey fans. I think that hockey fans would enjoy this, but it is very, very, very light. I mean feather light as far as game weight is concerned, so you're not really getting a whole lot of tactical, strategical choices that are going on here. You're really left up to the mercy of what you have in your hand and how best to use it. So it is really simply just a hand management game with a hockey theme slapped onto it. But I think with the different penalty cards, the whistle cards, and the goalie and shot cards, I think that they did okay with what they had. Now, the shots and the shot cards and the goalie cards, that's pretty much just a paper, rock, scissors kind of mechanic, because you're really just trying to outguess your opponent, and sometimes people are just better at that than other people. In one of the games that I played with my son, I was just better at outguessing him when he was taking a shot on me, and he never scored a goal, but I scored 2. So there's that. So it's not a bad game, but it's not a great game either. I think it's if you have an extra, a few bucks to spend on it, go ahead and get it. It'll bring you some enjoyment, and it'll fill some time for you that would maybe be bored time if you didn't have it around. So there's that. It's kind of a one thumb up, good try, I guess you could say, A for effort, maybe, but that's about it. There's just not a whole lot to the game. It's decent, it's a good filler, but that's about it. So that's Shooterz from Caper Games. See you guys on the flip side.